Hello, welcome to the first episode of Rainbow Reflections Origins. This series will take a closer look at Rainbow Reflections from its origins to fun facts and trivia. In this episode, we'll be looking at the origins of Hyaktu. Hyaktu was actually a character heavily based off my spirit guide, who I met in a meditation in 2019 and several meditations and dreams since. Of course, I asked for permission before putting him in, though I don't think either of us could have imagined the character I've ended up with today. He was originally a martial arts master from a distant land, teaching a few of the main characters martial arts, but more so in the past than the present, so he was very much in the background. He was very serious and stern, and in one version, he actually had a cut across his throat that prevented him from speaking. I'm not entirely sure how he came to be the father figure to Zin and Ren. When I look back at all my other stories and saw how each of them contained a father figure, that father figure I myself had been searching for all these years, I think I realized that I wanted a father figure in the story, and since Hyaktu had such a minor role, I believe that's what put him into being more of a father figure. Plus, in the meditation when I first met him, he had placed a hand on my shoulder in a fatherly sort of way. I therefore placed him as the twins' father, and he has since shown off a humorous and playful side. I'm very happy with how this character has evolved to be less serious, though I'm not sure what my spirit guide might think. Hyaktu's name originated from the meditation. I'm not even sure if it's my spirit guide's real name, but that was the word I had heard, though I still don't know quite how to spell it. As for the last name, I chose Saihan, which means rainbow. I chose this to parallel Rainbow Reflections' title, plus the fact that not only is this family diverse, but the whole series is. Now let's take a closer look at his design. I only saw my guide's face for probably like a few seconds, so while I tried to base his look and definitely his blue color scheme off my guide, it's probably not how my guide actually appears. The unibrow mustache actually comes from two places. So the first one is based off of this air nomad's own unibrow mustache in Avatar: The Last Airbender, but there's definitely more behind it than just that. The unibrow is a bit of an inside joke from my previous story, with one of the characters, who was actually kind of based off one of my martial arts instructors, having thick eyebrows that it kind of got mistaken as a unibrow. So I wanted to make a character who actually had a unibrow. As for the mustache, doesn't that remind you of a Chinese dragon? Well, that's what inspired it too, considering that Hyaktu also appeared to me as a blue dragon. The yin-yang symbol isn't just on Hyaktu's robe because of a stereotype either. Hyaktu practices Tai Chi, which is where the symbol originated from in the first place. He also follows Taoist philosophies, which I myself enjoy learning about too. The symbol is as important to me as it is to him, and it's not just one of those stereotypes that everyone else is doing. The black sash shows Hyaktu's mastery of martial arts, tied on the right side of the body like it is in my style of martial arts. His shirt is meant to be long and his pants are baggy like in my own uniform. The pointed shoes are slightly based off Zuko's pointed shoes in Avatar: The Last Airbender, because who doesn't like pointed shoes, right? While Hyaktu doesn't do much with his wand, he still has one that shows off the yin-yang symbol. On one end is the sun and fire, and on the other end is the moon and water. The sun, moon, and fire-water contrasts are really symbolic in the series. The wand is made out of holly, as holly represents energy, positivity, and protection. I feel like the energy would represent just like spirit magic and magic in general, and then the positivity is because of the Taoist philosophy that Hyaktu follows and how he is a positive person. And then of course protection, because he is a protective father, and he's definitely protective of his school and all the students there. When it comes to doing magic, Hyaktu mostly just uses his hands or otherwise his whole body doing martial arts to control magic. This shows how advanced he is with magic to be able to only get away with using just his hands, as opposed to using the whole body and using up all this energy, or even just relying on a wand. He also has a sword, as my guide has a sword too. And funnily enough, that's the first weapon you would actually learn for Tai Chi at my martial arts school. At the school, Hyaktu teaches Kung Fu, Tai Chi, most of the art classes, then the magic studies and magic channeling classes for years 3 and 4 as magic becomes more advanced. He's obviously, of course, the headmaster, being the one who created the school in the first place. Originally, he wasn't going to be teaching any of the art classes, but since art is also a pretty important thing, especially when paired with martial arts, I felt it was pretty necessary that he teaches some of the classes. He was born in March with a Pisces sun sign and an Aquarius moon sign. He has control over both water and air magics, as well as spirit magic of course, but let's not focus on that. He obtained his magic at 12 years old, which is quite young, but not as young as Ren when she first got her magic at 11. His hobbies beyond martial arts, of course, include learning, playing games, killing plants that Ren gives to him by mistake, and of course pranking Zin. In one of the early versions, back when the Saihan Academy of Magic was meant to be a university with a bunch of degree programs, Hyaktu would sit in on each of the classes to try and obtain as many degrees as he could from his own school, while also observing his teachers. That's how much he loved learning. But he no longer has time for that in the new version, as busy as he is running his school and taking care of his kids and keeping spirits out. Hyaktu was originally going to be asexual, and while he still leans heavily on the asexual and aromantic side, I do believe a part of him feels some attraction from time to time. He therefore terms himself as gray sexual and gray romantic. Who he feels attraction to is anyone's guess. He's more on the private side concerning those types of matters, but he mostly just doesn't really care in the first place. This kind of reflects my own not really caring but possibly feeling attraction from time to time, but also not really feeling it and not really caring. Just the whole father figure thing without actually having like a romantic partner is something that I also see like reflected in myself, and something that I have always kind of wanted even from a young age. I've always seen myself adopting kids and being a father figure without actually having a partner. So I did kind of put some of that into Hyaktu as well. While Hyaktu definitely started off on the more serious side and was quite minor, he's become a lot more complex and important to the story. I'm very glad to see how his character has evolved, and I really look forward to writing him further and see how much more he changes.